Good morning everybody. My name is Shankarji. Now we will be studying social sciences. Class 6 social sciences. We'll start with history because the textbook name is given as our past. So it itself suggests that what do you mean by past? Past means history, our past. There are not only single past, there are many past. So that's why we will take a look at history. So first of all, what do you mean by history? Before we get into the first chapter, let me give you a brief introduction about history. So what do you mean by history? History is defined as the recorded data of the people and the various cultures which existed before our time. So it can be from ancient times, it can be in the medieval times, or it can be in the modern times in which we are living right now. The importance of data. Information is everything. Data is everything. So let me put it in a short way. Data is everything. This gives us a brief introduction of history. So what is history? History is the subject or science of studying the past, mainly through recorded data or data in general. First of all, why do we need to study history? Because a lot of people ask, what is the advantage of studying history? Well, why do we need to study about dead people who lived in the past, about the cultures which do not exist anymore? Why? See, there's a basic logic behind it. Because the present cannot come before past and future cannot come before present. So that's why we need to study the past to know our present and to improvise or to keep on improving the future. In short, it's all connected. The past, the present, the future. So these are the three time zones. Okay. We will study more reasons why study history, but I'm just giving you a basic sense of thrill in studying history, because even though we have studied history systematically throughout the ages, still mankind is unfortunately, sadly ignorant of many aspects from history. It's a very fascinating subject. So if you take a deep interest in history, then you'll be really fascinated by the subject. It's a fascinating subject. You can know, oh, these kind of people lived in the past at this point of time. Or they followed these kind of cultures, they ate these kind of food, they wore certain kind of clothes, they hunted certain kind of animals. It's like a great sense of adventure. So what I'm saying is history is fascinating. Now let's analyze the reasons why study history. So we'll start with, first of all, it's like a time travel. It's an adventure. It's like a time machine. The moment you open the history book and you study, once there was a king who lived a long time ago in India or in any part of the world. So it's a real time travel. It's technically, yes, you're traveling through time, but the only difference is you're not traveling physically. You're traveling, your mind, your time and space, your mind is traveling. So it's amazing. It's a time travel. It's an adventure. Let me just add it. It's a sort of travel, a sort of time travel, which is a fascinating concept. Time travel, and it's an amazing science fiction concept. So second reason is it's a great and wonderful and awesome learning experience. You can learn a lot from the past. Before we proceed further, I would like to say, like, how do we learn things? We learn things by defining them correctly. The first and foremost way of learning things is you have to define things perfectly. Like if somebody asks me, what is this? I'm not saying anything. What is this? It's a marker. It is defined as a marker. What is it used for? It is used for writing on a surface, on a board, or on a whiteboard, or any surface which is suitable for this marker. You got to define things properly. So how do we learn things properly? By defining things properly. And how do we retain things? By repeating the data which we have learned, or by visualizing. We are visual creatures. A picture speaks 1,000 words. So if you learn and if you keep some visual memory aids in your brain, you can retain it for a long time. You won't be able to forget it even for a lifetime. Even for lifelong, you will be able to recall it then and there. So you need to learn things, and especially history is a subject full of memory. You got to memorize a lot of dates, a lot of events which happened long ago. You got to remember the dates, the years, everything in each and every detail. Then only you can score the maximum marks. So how do we learn things? By defining things properly. And how do we retain things? By repeating the data which we have learned in the form of textual repetition or visual repetition. So try this, guys, and you will have a great time learning any subject, especially history. The third reason why we need to study history is it makes us understand our present in a better way and also paves suitable pathways for our future. Let me explain you with a small example. Like we all know in the history of mankind that human beings have fought two deadly wars in the history of mankind, the World War I and the World War II. Like, is it good, guys? No. Wars are of no use. It's of no use. Only death and destruction. I mean, what do you achieve by fighting? Nothing. Only death and destruction. And why do human beings fight? I mean, the main reason, one of the main reasons why we study history is to learn not to fight. I mean, it's a funny thing. It's really funny. One of the main reasons why we study history, even though they will not mention this in the textbooks, one of the main reasons why we study history is how to be calm and composed, how not to fight, how to control your anger, how to be diplomatic. So that's one of the main reasons why we study history, because when we study about the previous kings, why two or more kings fought against each other, what was the reason behind it, we can learn a lot about various situations. But what did we learn from this World War I, World War II? Yes, finally human beings have learned that after so much death and destruction, what's the point of fighting against each other? So it's of no use. Ultimately, millions of people are killed, properties are damages. I mean, you're just destroying the environment, and in the end, you don't get anything. Maybe you get some achievement, maybe you acquire some land or some possessions or properties, but in the end, you feel very sad. What's the point? What's the point of all this? I mean, that's the reason. And still, if you look at the news, if you look at the media, what do we find every day? Fighting, violence, wars. So this really gives a proof that history is proof or evidence that we don't learn anything from history, but we still study history. So what I'm saying is, you can make the most out of history. An intelligent person is a person who can learn from history and to benefit from their previous experiences. So that's why I would say it makes us understand our present in a better way and also paves suitable pathways for our future. Now, after fighting two deadly world wars, World War I and World War II, now human beings, now at least they realize that if a third world war, World War III occurs, then gone, we're all gone, then nobody is going to survive, because we'll be fighting against each other and we'll be killing each other, and in the end, who will be benefited? No one, none. So is this what worth living for? So no. So at least I'm happy that human beings have learned something from history, but we still have a long way to go. So the fourth reason why we need to study history is it helps us understand and appreciate various cultures, including our own. For example, our own Indus Valley civilization, which is also known as the Harappa and Mohenjo-daro civilization, which existed some 3,500 years back along the banks of the Indus River. Now parts of the civilization lie in India, parts of the Indus Valley civilization lie in Pakistan. So it was a great civilization. Not only that, we also have the amazing civilization known as the Chinese civilization. We also have the Iraqian civilization, also known as the the Mesopotamian civilization, and we also have the Greek civilization, and also just surrounding right next to it, the Roman civilization. These are fascinating aspects to study regarding mankind. So that's the reason why it helps us in understanding, it helps us to understand and appreciate various cultures, including our own. That's the fourth point. Now the fifth point is, it helps us in understanding human society and its various aspects very well. So we learn from history that we should not be too much greedy. Still, human beings are greedy. See, that's the sad part. What happens? Okay, need is fine. I mean, we all have our needs, right? We'll fulfill our needs. But what if some human being gets greedy, then gone? All the natural balance is gone. So what I'm saying is, we should learn from history to understand that it doesn't work. So it helps us. So history helps us to understand our human society and to understand its various aspects. Not only the greed aspect, many other aspects. You talk about human beings, Me and you, we are all human beings. Even though we have our brains, we have logic, but what happens? First emotions come, and if you don't control your emotions, then you are unable to think for some period of time, and then you do things in a rage or in an emotional fit, and then you regret, oh, I could have thought. That's the thing, we got to still learn this crucial aspect from history. Nevertheless, people have learned, human beings have learned a lot from history, but we still have a long way to go. These are the 5 main reasons why we need to study history, and there are many more. So guys, I would sincerely request you to please take a deep interest in history, study a lot about the past, people, cultures, and implement it in your daily lives, and make sure that, this kind of similar situation happened many years ago, I should not do it. Although we might be living in a different time, but human beings are the same during every period of time, because maybe the technology was different, maybe the thinking level was different, but nevertheless we can still get a lot of similar points, and we can implement in our daily lives. So I would request all of you to take a deep interest in social sciences, especially history. Study a lot regarding history, do a lot of Google search, do a lot of project works. Just have fun studying history of the entire mankind, and have fun. So if you have any doubts or suggestions, please let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much. Have a great day.